Are you a beauty or barber pro looking for that push to do that thing you've always wanted to do, whether it's in or out of the salon, spa, or shop? Are you tired of not feeling good enough, smart enough, skilled enough? Are you tired of not getting a handle on your mental health, boundaries, and insecurities? I'm Krystine Sherwood, the BeautyPro coach, an internationally certified coach, a salon and spa owner, and your personal Jiminy Cricket. I use my own experiences, good and bad, as a salon owner to help you be more self-aware, authentic, and forward-thinking in your approach to life, in and out of the salon. It's time to reach your version of success with the Beauty Pro Coach podcast. You guys, I am here with the fabulous Tracey Napotnik. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
And if you don't know her, you're gonna know her. And she's amazing. She's the curator of the PA Beauty Expo and so many other things. Talk to us, Miss Tracey. Tell everybody who you are.
Hi. Well, first of all, always thank you for having me on a show with I love all the different people that you have on here. I think what you do is also exceptional for the beauty industry. So thanks.
Thank you.
Tracey Napotnik, I'm a mom of two. I love being a mom. It's probably my favorite thing in the world. And I've been in the beauty industry for 30 plus years and a salon owner for I think 22, 23 years or so now. And I love this industry.
I love it. I love it. See, we were trying to get Tracey to come on the show early, I think late last year, but Tracey had some things going on, some big things. You want to share what those were?
Yes, I'm not even sure where to start. So, well, first of all, the hair show. We
Yeah.
had, for those of
So,
you, okay.
let me just do this. Like last year was my first time going to the PA Beauty Expo. And I went and we had like this meeting with all the educators and everybody. And I'm like, oh, this is Tracey, right? I'm like standing in the back. I'm like, oh, okay. And like this woman is like a powerhouse and you're just going at it. And I'm like, what is happening? So I just wanted to share that.
Oh, well, thank you. It's interesting whenever people say things about you, you're like, you don't see it, you know, you
Yeah.
hear it from other people. I'm like, I don't know. It's just who I am, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I started a hair show, like you're saying, in Pennsylvania. We had 3 so far. And for a couple different reasons. The one, Pennsylvania is where I grew up, love it, had a salon for many years. And I remember going to a show at Seven Springs Mountain Resort near Pittsburgh, Somerset, Pennsylvania. And it was always where we went, and it was fun and it was great. And that's kind of, I don't know, it started me to really understand what the beauty industry was. When I
Mm.
first saw some educator standing up there and teaching, I was like, this is just really cool. I didn't understand that this all happened in our career. I was only in 10th grade, I think, when I first went. And I
Yeah.
was hooked for hair shows ever since. And then we didn't have one in Pennsylvania for over 20 some years in that region. And I said, oh, if I'm starting salontraining.com, which is a platform and different in itself, I said, I wonder if we should bring the Pennsylvania show back. And it basically started by, I think I just posted something. I don't even know what it was. And someone said, is someone bringing that show? And I'm like, oh, maybe we should. So it
Yeah.
ended up being amazing. We had a lot of wonderful trainers that we reached out and said, and I was very honest with them. I said, I have no idea if anybody's going to show up. I have no idea if it's going to fall apart. I don't know if I can afford it. I don't know what's going to happen on this show. I've never done anything like this, but I know Pennsylvania stylists and salon owners need this. So we ran with it, and it was awesome. And then we had it for 3 years. But like you said, last year, 2025, well, let me just skip one thing. First year was great. All the focus was there. Year 2, I ended up opening my salon again because I had taken a break over COVID and moved locations and stuff like that. 20 employees. It was team members. I actually don't even like the name employees. I love team members.
Yeah.
And did the show, and they all opened up the same week. Like the salon and
Yeah.
the hair show was in within the same week. Our
Yeah.
because everything was like we were planning it and answering all these calls and selling tickets and all this stuff. And then I'd be like, oh, I have to run up. The inspector's coming, or da 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 da. So it was just a much chaos.
Yeah.
And then 2025 became chaos again when we had the show. Found out I had breast cancer. So that was kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, I'm planning the third show and okay, I have it. What are we going to do? Let's jump, let's just go through the hoops. I just didn't realize how many doctor's appointments
Yeah.
it was this one and this one and this one and this one. And then I had to switch locations and do everything again. So that was a little bit crazy.
Yeah. And you're still here with us. Thank God.
Thanks.
I have like from the first meeting Tracey and experiencing the PA show to today, like I feel like I am invested in your life. Like I have been like watching all the things like on Facebook, and I have everybody praying for her while she's going through these things. Like this is for real. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, no. And like I feel like I would like find people and just start talking to them like, oh yeah, I have a friend and she's in Pennsylvania and you need to pray for her because here's why. And it was crazy. And so here she is. And yeah,
Are
we're
you
taking.
seeing more and more people with breast cancer though?
Oh, totally.
I mean, everywhere I look. Before it was
Totally.
like a little pocket of some people and then some other, and maybe because my eyes were open more to it, but someone said, no,
Mhm.
it's not because your eyes are open to it, it's because it's happening. And so if you guys are listening and you have not had your mammogram, please do it. That's how I found
No.
mine.
Yeah.
And you know what? It encouraged me because I heard another trainer actually speaking about her cancer. She was supposed to come to one of our shows to teach,
Mhm.
and she wasn't able to. She's like, I have to cancel. I have breast cancer. And I was like, and she was constantly in a car doing podcasts and different things and saying,
Yeah.
get your mammogram. And I was in my doctor's the one day and her image came to mind and I saw a sign said, I'm like, yeah, I probably actually need to do that again. And that's how they found it. It was small enough. Now there was a couple different ones in there. We thought it was one and then there was more. So I had a double mastectomy. And I was like, wow, this is different, but I am so blessed. I don't look at it as a negative thing. I look at it as a positive thing because if I wouldn't have had the mammogram, who knows where we'd be in another 2 years from
Mhm.
now, they were able to
Yeah,
do it. I didn't need chemo. I didn't, it was, if you get it early, there's a lot of things that can happen. That's
for
just like,
sure.
you can go right through it.
Do you feel like as a beauty professional, we already like have stress. Like that's just part of it. And we're like constantly living on adrenaline. Do you feel like that's a factor?
I think the hair show was a factor of stress. Just kidding. And people are like, why aren't you doing it again? Oh, you're not up at 2 in the morning still like trying to work. But yes, I think just in general, not just me, every
Yeah.
one of us has so much more stress, I think, than when we had 15 years ago. It's just a different thing. But
Yeah.
we also allow that. I allow that
Mhm.
to happen. And I've done it on the opposite where I didn't have multiple things and I just don't feel like me. I feel like if I had to
Mhm.
sit and watch TV, like whenever I was off, I literally was going more stressful and out of my mind because I just like to go.
To go. Yeah.
And I think we're all wired differently. And so I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So we have the hair show. You are a salon owner, but what is salontraining.com and how did that happen? Because that was kind of like the start of everything, right?
Yes.
That was the main thing.
That's my baby. I love this. So
Yeah.
salontraining.com. So whenever I had the salon before, like with my team members, I just had a little tiny one in the middle of the woods. I had a couple other ones before that, and then I decided to have kids and get married. I said, hey, I just want to just have one, and I worked very part time. Then I was just building it up. I said, once my kids are in school, then I'll just go back really full time and keep going. And then COVID hit just about when they were about ready to go back to school, like both age appropriate. It's like,
Yeah.
oh darn! So I ended up staying home and homeschooling them because one of my children ended up having some medical issues, and her
Yeah.
doctor actually recommended, hey, maybe not send her. We'll
Yeah.
just kind of play along with this for a little bit. So stayed home, gave up my salon, which was not an easy thing to do after 20 some years, make that decision. But my kids came first.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I was seeing all of these beautiful trainers. Let me give a shout out a little bit to Derek Hall from and Nikki. Nikki Lee. There were so many beautiful and many companies that were saying, listen, guys, or with their phones and they're like in their car, they're wherever, and saying, we are homebound right now. Let's all give classes. So they were doing that. And I thought, if I didn't just come across that or know that particular person, how would I know that they were giving all this free education while we were off and able to do it? And that's where salon training came. I said, why don't we just have some type of hub or platform or something that these trainers can post and say, hey, I am teaching a class today or next week or whatever, join us. But the thing took a year to make the website. So when everybody is home, I'm like, oh, this would be great right now, but it doesn't happen that way. So we had a guy that custom coded everything on the website, which was a blessing and a curse. The blessing was we can make whatever we wanted to happen. The curse was if one thing didn't work with it, you had to go and find where that code was, and it was a nightmare to keep up with. I'm like, okay, this isn't working. And even with that, when it came out a year later, everybody was tired of Zoom. Everybody was tired of sitting on, taking these classes, and they were already back in their salon working and trying to catch up. So I was like, well, this isn't going to work anymore. So I ended up doing more of a directory. And when I told my husband what I wanted to do, he's like, Tracey, do you even know how to turn on a computer? And I said, he said, you want to do a computer software, a business that's a computer? And I'm like, yeah, it's needed. Like the need was there. I just didn't know how to get there yet. And of course I knew how to turn on a computer. We were in software, but he just knows my frustration of like, if this doesn't work, I'm like, figure it out.
Right.
But then, we ended up doing the salon training. We've had version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, that kind of stuff. We're on version 4 right now, which I think I really, really like.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this in early 2026 or listening in, there's some cosmetic things I was telling you about yesterday. Like, this is not done yet, but
it's really not that bad, you guys. It's beautiful, but okay.
The main purpose of it is for beauty professionals to go in and say, hey, I am looking for a job, or a salon owner that says, hey, I am going to be posting, that we're hiring. We know almost every salon out there is hiring, and there's lots of places to list. I actually had someone one time when we say we were going to have jobs on there, they said, oh, I don't know if I should list there. I'm already listed somewhere else. Or a trainer that had mentioned pretty much the same thing. Well, I don't know if I should be on your platform because I'm on someone else's. And I'm like, you should be everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, if you're hiring, your message should, you think McDonald's just stays in their town? No, you know what I mean? Like be everywhere you can be. So if you're a salon owner, come and take advantage. We have free listings. Go into the website, go into add a listing, add a job. And, we're building this up. And then also it's for education. You and I know talked, and many trainers did. Education helped us somewhere where we were in our struggle point. And if I wouldn't have had someone to say, here, sit in this class, learn the business side as a hairdresser, because many of us along the way will take an extra haircut class, an extra color class, and we think we have to keep doing that, which are great. But we don't take how to make money in this industry. So I'm so glad I sat in someone's class one time that changed everything. So I'm going to give them, I love shouting out to people that Lauren Gartland from Inspiring Champions.
Yes.
You love her too, right?
We love her.
Yes. If you can ever get yourself to a champ camp, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it, I don't think. I mean, I've been to many of them, and there's really good ones. So don't get me wrong. Like there's tons of good ones. But for me as a young stylist, as a young owner, I had no idea what I was doing other than like filling my chairs, but yet my business didn't know how to make money and my stylist didn't know how to make money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ones. I'm sorry. There's just Lauren. There's tons of great companies.
Yeah. Well, that's why I even became a coach, because I had a coach and I was like, what? And you always, it's the same story for a lot of hairdressers, right? They get a haircut and they're like, if I were a hairdresser, I wouldn't do XYZ. So that's the same thing. And now that I am a coach, meeting a certified coach, meeting and talking and collaborating with so many different people and companies, like you grow. And that's the whole point of salontraining.com too. You like grow for yourself, but grow for your team and just meet people, network, right?
Yes, absolutely. There are so many good trainers and coaches out there, and
Yeah.
everyone that you're looking, like if you are looking for how to make income, if you're looking how to market, if you're looking for social media, if you're looking for you like how to make a podcast, podcasters are great for our industry. Go to the resources for the expert that have
Yeah.
already did all the struggle that you don't have to do. They already know, you know what it takes, and
Yeah.
they're already there. Learning from someone else is one of the most amazing things, if they have proof, of course, you know, that they're,
Sure.
you know, which a
Yeah.
lot of you guys do. And that's what salon training is about too. Like you can go under trainers, search someone to teach me a haircut, someone to teach me podcasting,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and they can see. And then the trainers have the ability to list their social media links, their website, their email, you know,
I love
all that
it.
kind of stuff that
I
they can.
love it. You guys watching and listening, you have to take advantage of this resource. So now we're gonna take a little turn, okay? So like, what do you feel is the secret of success?
Okay. Okay, that's a very open one.
A huge pivot.
Yeah, secret of success, in my opinion, is a few things. One is never giving up. Right when you think that you're going to give up, that's when something turns. And it's been in so many parts of my life and other people that I've talked to. They're like, I was just about ready to give up on that. And then something happened. So at your breaking point, you know, you can move
Yeah.
past it. But then reason, I mean, you can't starve your family because you have a dream, you know, either. You have to, to find
Right.
that balance. Um,
Yeah.
the other one is having the major passion and the reason first. If you go after just money, passion if it's not there, I feel it doesn't work. If your passion is there first and the reasoning behind what you want, the money will follow.
Mm,
You know, so I think that's the secret to success. And
for sure.
and 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 mapping it out, like having it out, like I love numbers. So
Wow, God bless you. 'Cause I do not, but
I
okay.
I didn't previously, and you would think sometimes because my taxes, my papers like pile up sometimes. I'm like, God, she likes numbers yet, but she doesn't have it, you know, organized.
Mm,
But at the same time, like pre-planning your day. So
mm,
knowing what you're going to have in the morning before you come in, and then planning what your total is in the evening. That's one way. Same with our lives and our personal life. Success means planning it. You know,
mm,
planning it ahead. I will go on vacation with my children next year to such and such. Okay, then how are you going to achieve that? What are the steps? So success is always planning, but
I
also
love
being
it.
able to like be punched in the face a few times and go, you know, go.
Yeah, like, hey, it's the other side. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Um,
Okay, so with your salon, with being a hairstylist yourself, with salontraining.com, with the hair show, what do you and this could be personal or professional, okay? What do you feel has been your biggest failure? And what did you learn from it?
my biggest failure was thinking I could open a salon just because I had clients.
Oh.
So walking in and saying, "Hey, I have a clientele. I'm going to open a salon, and I'm then going to hire people, and they're going to work, and then I'm going to be a salon owner making money." That was my biggest failure. I did not plan, like we said, I did not plan what I wanted to make. I didn't plan on how to help my team. So for many years, I think I was like just going through the motions, take your next client and work, and had my team led that way. And then when I had a wake up call of it should be the other way around, lead my team, train the team, and take education, then it falls, not the other way around. That was mine. Everybody's in their
Mm.
different place, but
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then what do you feel is your a current struggle that you're going through right now?
um definitely time.
Mm,
You know, time is
yeah.
so unbelievably precious. And I was fortunate enough to go part-time whenever my kids were really little,
Yeah.
and I miss that. So I always said I feel like I'm split down the middle. And there's Tracey that wants to be the mom and be in every single waking moment that they're breathing. I'm sure
Mhm.
they don't need that in their life every single now that they're older. And then the other part of me is like, I just want to work, 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 and I want to work 15 hours a day, and I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
So it's that struggle.
Oh, I can relate to that. That's what we were talking about yesterday, actually. Like as being in this industry, like we have so many interests and like so many different things. Like I just want to do them all and I want to do them well, kind of deal, you know?
Mhm.
And it's good for us to know what we like and be able to maximize it, but also know like when to switch it off, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you nourish yourself? Because you like what you just said, you're split down the middle. So how do you nourish your body, your soul, your mind, everything?
If I quite figured that out yet, I don't know if I have
Okay,
to answer that.
that's fine. We're works in progress. It's cool.
Yes, I had 10 weeks off when I had my first surgery, and it was hard for me. It was a struggle. I
Like,
mean, obviously going it's a struggle because you're in pain and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But it was a struggle just because I couldn't, go outside with my kids, and it was summertime and they were swimming, and I couldn't go up to the salon, or I couldn't do stuff on salon training, like that was the
Yeah.
struggle. Um so for like deconnecting, sometimes I have to, like last night I was working at the end of the year paperwork and stuff, and I've been doing that for a couple weeks,
Mhm.
and said, okay, I'm going to do my last book, my
Yeah.
last thing, just to double check. And I didn't want to. I was like, I just want to finish this. And I mentally have to force myself and say, okay, you're done working and now
Yeah.
it's family time, so
Yeah. Yeah. See, that is so relatable. I feel like all of us listening, watching, like we can understand that. Like we do that. Like, oh, let me just do one more client. It's fine. And then
yeah,
before you know it, it's like 8:30 and you're still and you're like, "What? Go home. Go
yeah,
home."
yep.
Okay. What is the
But
biggest
can I
Yeah.
piggyback off of that one? Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone talks about work life balance, which I think is important. And I don't think you're ever completely in balance. I think
Mhm.
sometimes you need to be more on this side and sometimes you need to be more on that side.
Yeah.
I think there's a big shift that's happened in the last 5 to 10 years, though, and I think a lot of you
Oh,
guys have see it. We were for them culture that you get up and you take that extra client and you take 5 clients at a time and you or whatever.
exactly.
I remember starting at 9 and being done at 2 in the morning almost every day for 10 years because I was like, I'm going to make this work and I'm just going to take more clients and I'm going to la 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 la, to the point that I couldn't walk anymore hardly. I
Oh
had
my
to sit and
Lord.
get like go through a whole different thing about that. So I was bred to like chop firewood and carried it, and stuff like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And whenever I see stylists nowadays, they'll say, you know what, I had to work 7 hours today instead of 6, or I had to take an extra client that I wasn't expecting and I had to stay longer. At first, my mind was blown of like, so, like that's
Yeah.
how I, and then I
Right.
realized, you know what, who's doing it better? I don't know if there's a better,
Yeah.
if that's the right thing. You're more home with your children and you're more home with your friends and your husband and you have more. So I think the older generation, and myself included for a while there, in a sense kind of criticized that work ethic, like, oh, they just don't know how to work anymore, they just. But then that generation is now like, gosh, they work like a dog and they never spend any time with their family. So I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think it's just the person, and you have to know what you want and go after it.
Exactly.
They're both equally good.
Exactly. There's like a time and place for both things. And like I talk about this like on the podcast and in classes, like whatever you focus on, that's what's gonna grow. And it's just like this ebb and flow. And I agree with you. Like you're never gonna have that perfect balance. I don't think it exists, honestly.
True. I think the perfect balance is knowing what you want, like you
Yeah.
said, and just figuring out
Yeah.
it's gonna go this way sometimes and this way sometimes. And you're right.
Yeah.
It's not ever gonna be a straight, perfect line.
Yeah. Like that is like a huge myth in the industry right now. But like what's a common myth that you get personally, professionally about what you do?
I do, or something in the industry.
What you do, like you, Tracey, like what's a myth that you are always getting from people and you're like, actually.
I think it kind of goes back. to the same thing that we talked about in a sense about
Uh-huh.
it's not necessarily me in a sense. I guess it was at one time. But I think a myth from the older generation of salon
Mm-hmm.
owners
Mm-hmm.
is you have to work 5 days a week, 6 days a week. You have to stay late. You have to do this in order to build your book. The new generation is seeing it differently. And I love this part. This is
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I love helping people with all the time. Don't work 5 days a week. Work three, but make the same money.
Mm.
That is the myth that I think that I hear often from older salon owners. They only want to work 3 days. Okay, they only want to work 3 days. But if you can train them to work amazing in those 3 days, what's the difference? That,
Right.
you know?
Right. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. What is your favorite insult that you've ever gotten that is like your driving force?
That's a good one. Um, yes, it was about the hair show.
Okay, I love this.
I
I love it.
contacted quite a few people in the industry that I didn't know. Hey, someone told me that you used to run a show. I was told I'll never do it. So they're like, you'll never be able to make that happen because I'm not a large company and I don't have the funds and I don't have the resources. So it's probably not going to work. So that was, I wouldn't say it was my driving force because I'm my own driving force. Like I
Yeah.
used to have a driving force by everybody else. And I have found through the years, I need to be the driving force that I want for what I want. And I have to shut other people out.
Mm.
Um, but in a sense, I guess that's a driving force. And yeah, I am because that's what I want
Yeah.
to do. Oh, I remember something that was a long time ago was personal. I remember I had purchased a salon in a town and there was like 5 or 6 dryers, like hooded dryers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of some of these because in my opinion, that was all roller set. And that's what I was told. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a lot of hair color here. And I was told, oh no, that salon doesn't get a lot of color. They do a lot of older ladies and roller sets. So you might need to move elsewhere because that's not going to happen in that town. You're not going to get your prices that you want in that town. You're not going to do la la la. Well, I want to do color and I want my salons to do color. So that's what we're going to become. Like just
That's
because everybody else's
amazing.
opinion, everybody
Yeah.
else's opinion. Now, I love people's opinions. Don't get me wrong. I love listening to feedback. I
Yeah.
love it, but I know when to shut it out and I
Yeah.
know when it makes sense to me and not make sense.
I love that. Okay. So like you mentioned something before. Now that we're talking about this, what was it? It was about putting that I have clients. I have clients, so I guess I'm just gonna go put a salon. What would you tell somebody listening or watching? Well, isn't that the same thing? Like you're just gonna shut everybody out. You're just gonna do it. You're gonna like not take the advice.
Yes.
Like,
Um, I see it all the time. Salon owners that are opening salons because they want to create they want to build the furniture, they want to build the rooms, and that's all fun. I love that part as well. And they already have a clientele. And I feel like they have to, I'm sorry, my phone keeps dinging. I feel like that they have to step back and say, if I'm going to do this, I need to pause. And in that pause, I need to take the resources before I move further and have people under me. If
mm,
you're on your own and you just, in your house and you're taking clients, that's one thing and that's great. But once you accept a team member, there's a different responsibility that comes with that. And so if you're going to open a salon and you do not have that money set aside or time is set aside to actually learn the business that goes first, you are not not that you are, but
mm,
majority of the people tend to struggle and say,
mm.
I have to work or the business will shut down. I did that for many years. If I
Yeah.
wasn't in the business working behind the chair till 2 in the morning, then the business didn't work.
Hmm.
Well, the business didn't work because it couldn't grow. It was there. It paid its bills, but that was it. Like there was nothing to move forward because I was trying to take the clients and do everything first instead of let me pause, take some business classes, Make that a priority. If you say
Mm,
you don't have the time or the money, then that's when you absolutely have to do it, not want to do
mm,
it. You have to figure that
mhm.
out, because that vicious cycle of the hamster wheel will be continuous. So I can't take it off now because I won't have the money to do so. If I take my $500, $1,000 week and I'm gone, how am I making that up? That's the rabbit hole that you're going to keep going, the hamster wheel of like, I'm just going to keep going and going and going and going,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's me and where I'm at. I don't know. But how do you communicate the urgency to the younger stylists who you see them making all the wrong choices? How you're like, oh my God, you're running off the cliff, babe. Like, what do you do? But they don't want to hear you because you don't know what you're talking about. What do you do?
That seems like my kids too. My
I
kids
know.
do the same
I
thing. You
don't
don't know
even
what you're
have kids yet. I just have a dog, but but whoa.
Yes. If you're parents or anything, like even if you have nieces, nephews or something, they're always
Yeah.
telling the family the same thing. Well, you don't know. Well, at that age, they that's what they truly feel. They
Yeah.
feel, and they have every right to feel it because we felt it too when we were their
Okay.
age.
Yeah.
Same with stylists. They're going to see that. Well, the person on Instagram that's famous, and I think that's great. I know some
Mhm.
people are like, oh, Instagram famous. Those people work their butt off to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they definitely have a lot of value. But sometimes I think the younger generation is only watching that and they're not breaking out into, sorry, I should have shut that off. They're not breaking out into different avenues. So for the younger generation, if you are listening to this and you really want to build a clientele, look at two things. Look at people that are already in your salon and say, if they have a 90% rebooking rate, how are they doing it? If you're not rebooking, now granted, there are different things. You can work in a chain salon that feeds you people, and that's a great model. That's one model. But if you really want to build your brand and build your book so that you can go wherever in this world to say,
Yeah.
I know how to build out my book, and I don't have to have someone just saying, hey, here's your clients, here's your clients.
Right.
Stand beside someone in your salon that's already doing it. Start looking up for trainers that coach and teach and mentor people that about rebooking. Get that done. Once you master your rebooking and your average tickets and your retail, once you master those three most important things, you will continue to succeed. I feel. I
I am with
watched it.
you. I am with you. I have always been in that regimented kind of environment, very, very like Paul Mitchell with that education, like boom, 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 boom. Like very European trained, and it's like, okay, got it. And so to go to the shows and like talk to other stylists and even estheticians and all kinds of things, they're like, what? No, I'm good. I don't need those. I'm good.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
want to
gonna
pull my hair out of my head. What do you mean?
I'm just gonna shop, 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 and not take any classes, right? Like, and
Yeah.
that's one way to do it,
Okay. All right. That's cool.
I
That's
guess,
cool.
right?
I guess I don't, not for me. It doesn't work for me, but okay.
Yeah.
In any case,
You know
what,
what? Oh,
talk to me.
sorry.
Say it. No,
Let's bring up retail for just a quick moment
let's
because
do
there's
it.
a really
Please.
good thing with this. Okay, so it's the same
Go
with
for it.
rebooking and everything else, but let's give an example for retail. One of the things that back in the day we used to say you have to sell a certain amount, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Once we threw that in the garbage and say you don't have to sell, you do have to just learn to recommend and you have
Yeah.
to learn your dialogue totally different. If you
Sure.
work in a salon, there's no judgment on a salon owner to say if they're telling you you have to. I mean, that's their thing. You signed up for
Right.
it, respect it. However, once you start taking that out and saying, I'm going to learn how to recommend services and products and their next appointment, all in one recommendations. The thing that with retail we found the most helpful is going in instead of saying today, and I'm sure lots of us today, we're going to be using this Paul Mitchell shampoo on you or this hairspray because blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, smell it. That's all good. And that was what worked in the past. There's too many opportunities for people to use now. So the game
Hmm.
has changed. That's not enough. It's still good, but talking to the guest. So I'm going to be talking to you, Krystine, and say, on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you, or I'm sorry, what are you using on your hair at home? Your shampoo and conditioner. What are you starting with? So they mention what they're using. What are your styling products you use? What are you finishing products that you're using? Find out everything that they're using before you even start their service. You're writing this down and then have them rate it. This is something that actually came from Lauren Gartland and Inspiring Champions. And, we've played around with different things. Also,
Sure.
I'm big into Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and they do very similar things. So kind of like piling this up together.
Okay.
And Lauren had said, always have them write it. And I was like, boy, it has helped tremendously. So I'm going to ask you, just let's role play for a quick second.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's just say like you use Pantene and you use something professional. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, on this, I want to find out everything that you use on your hair right now. So let's talk with your shampoo and conditioner. What are you using?
Okay. So I use Pantene smoothing shampoo.
Okay.
And I use Wella frizz-free conditioner. And then for styling, I'll use Moroccan oil.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to have you rate it between a scale of 1 to 10. If 1 is like, oh, it's not really working that well for me, and 10, it's amazing and it's great working for me. 1.
Okay.
What would you rate your shampoo?
So my shampoo, I'm gonna say like a 5.
5. Okay. And what would you rate your conditioner and your
My conditioner, I love the way it smells. I love the way it feels. I'm gonna do more of a 7.
Nice. Okay. And what about your oil?
And then the oil, I mean, it's Moroccan oil, so I'm gonna do 9.
Nice. Okay. And then I would continue to go on. What blow dryer? I mean, how is your tools? What tools are you using? What type of brush? How many times have we thought, oh, this style is only going to work if they round brush their hair, but they don't know how to do it and they're using a vent brush or a pick or a comb or something instead of the tool. So we get these beautiful haircuts and then they're collapsing at home and not being able to do it because their products are weighing it down or different things. And then we try to go in and sell stuff that we don't even know if they already love something or don't. So that is what we've changed years ago. And it was our retail just skyrocketed when we started doing this. So I'm going to go in and say, okay, so you had rated your shampoo a 5. And so at the very end, that's when I'm going to start talking to you, or not at the end, when we talk about shampoos in the middle. Hey, I know you had mentioned that the shampoo that you were using, you rated it a 5. And you had also mentioned earlier that your hair was dry and it was greasy. And, that's all questions that would be ahead of that as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and recommend, and you tell them what they recommend. And I'm going to give you something that Lauren says by the book. So if you ever get a chance to take this, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I am using, or what I'm using today on you is Paul Mitchell Moisture Shampoo. I'll just throw it,
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm going to be using this is because you had mentioned you like that you want your hair to feel moistured, but it's feeling dry. Then you can go into explaining them in all of the products that you're using and why. Now, what if they rate a 10 for their Pantene? What if they rate it a 10? They're like, I love it smells and it's great. You cannot go in and judge them and criticize what they're rating a 10. And you should not be going and selling them and recommending them a product that they already love. Let's work with the products that they don't love first, then educate them on the rest. So you can go back and educate them on the product that we know might be causing the damage, but they don't.
It's so good. That really.
People will buy want before they'll buy need, always. And if you do any market research, they will always buy what they want before what they need. The statistics are higher. Yeah. So if you're going in, well, I want my hair to be fuller, but it's not. Okay, well, this is why it's not. You're rating this, you know what I mean? So
yeah, that is mind blowing. That really does help with the judgment piece. Because like, how many times does the client come in and they're like, yeah, I use Pantene. And we're like, oh, girl. Like I've had clients be like, yeah, I know it's bad. Like, so that's amazing. I'm going to take that and I'm going to use that.
Awesome.
That's a good one. Okay. So, time is going. So being in the industry for so long, working in at different aspects from tech to events to actually behind the chair. What's a lesson that you've learned that you wish everybody would learn? Like, even if they're not in the industry.
To know what you want with clarity and then putting the steps in there to get there.
I
So
love it.
having a clear vision, because sometimes I get all boggled down. I still do too. And there's a million things that go in, and they don't all come out the way they should.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so how do I organize this into importance of clarity? What do I want? And then the next step is how do I get there?
That
And
is
that could
good.
be personal, that could be in our business, that can be in any business.
Yeah. It's the pause. It's the
Mhm.
pause. Oh my God, I love it. Okay. How does your family take it when you're doing all these things? We forget about our families, but like how's your husband? What's he doing?
Oh, so the first year of the hair show was probably our hardest struggle because the time just went, before kids,
Mm.
my time was never there. Like we went on a date once in a while. Like he actually made a fake name and booked himself an appointment so that he can actually take me out on a date and come in another time. He came in just to get an appointment so that we could talk because I was never
Oh,
allowing that time at that,
yeah.
in that part of my career.
Yeah.
Um, so then during, like I had promised,
Yeah.
once we have kids, I will slow down and be a mom, which was always my goal anyway, which I
Yeah.
feel like I've lived up to that. But
Yeah.
then I could find myself being sidetracked. Now that they were getting older, it had to be a conversation between him and I. Listen, I will always still be there for my kids, but I also need me. And I also need to know, I also need to do what I feel that I'm called to do, which is doing more of these things for the industry. Did he like it? No. But it worked both ways. He works a full-time job, but he also wanted to do more with his life. We were listening to Tony Robbins actually the one time, and it said
Yeah.
something about like you need to give back. You need to do more than just stuff for yourself. And he had mentioned that. He's like, I need to do something else other than just for me and my day-to-day. So he ended up going to EMS school, which was right before COVID, which we didn't know was coming. And then he was around all these germs and I was about ready to lose my mind. But he ended up he started working every Saturday, and that was our day before. And so he worked 12
Oh,
hours because he could only work, one Saturday a month or something at first, and then two and
yeah.
stuff like this. So I had to reassure him, you're doing the same thing that I want to do. And we just had to kind of, I can't say that it's easy, especially that first year because like I had the craziest shifts.
Mm-hmm.
I kept when I was working on salon training, I had kept my kids up and they were young. I had to keep them up till 12, 1, 2 in the morning and redo their sleep schedule so that they could sleep till 12 or 1 in the afternoon. They'd have their 12 hours like they were recommended, that I could work in the morning. So, and then I would do their homeschool and then I would, when they woke up. And I remember talking to the doctor and my husband's like, you are going to screw up our kids. Like they're going to screw it up forever. And I talked to the pediatrician and I said, my husband feels this way because my work schedule and I'm trying to balance this all. And he goes, honey, it's okay. He said, what about the people that work overnight? And what about this and that? He said, as long as your children are getting 12 hours sleep consistently, not one night 12 and not next night 7 consistently. I'm like, all right, then they're fine. And I did that for like 2 years. So, while I was working and it worked. So you just have to find out what works.
That is so funny. You're like, it's 12 hours. It doesn't matter what time. Like,
Yes.
that is pure hairdresser thinking.
It was.
The best. It is the best. Okay, so now you've been doing it for a while. How is everybody now? Do your kids love what mommy does? Is your husband chill with everything? Like,
I don't think he'll ever be chill because he doesn't like whenever I go away for functions. He
okay.
doesn't like he's like, I like whenever you're home and we like, eat dinner together and we do all
Yeah.
this, which is great. I'd rather it be that way than someone trying to kick you out all the time. Like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, but it is a little frustrating sometimes because I like I want you to be my cheerleader. I'm like, yes, go. And I can't say that he isn't. He's
Right.
definitely an amazing husband. Yes, we have our issues and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing husband, amazing father. I couldn't do half of this without him. It's great to have two parents that can
Yeah.
kind of take up the slack. Um, Go back to your question. I think I got
It was how is it now? How is it now? Because that was
Oh,
at the beginning of all the crazy. Now
yeah.
we're kind of getting used to the crazy now. So like, how is it now?
Yeah, he actually is definitely more supportive now of it because he
Okay.
sees that the value that came with it. And you asked about my kids too, how are they
Yeah.
doing it? My daughter, she's definitely very shy, very, very shy. And she doesn't talk to people much at all, but she loves insects. She can talk all day about little cockroaches and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy.
Okay.
So I ended up taking her to a fair. We have a local fair in our area, and we set it up for our salon. And by far, and that could be another topic at some time, but people always ask about like, how do
Yeah.
you market your salon?
Yeah.
That is the number one place that we got our clients for years. Social media, you get, so many people, radio ads back in the day, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
being in your local community,
Yes.
talking to your, people that walk past, hi, we have a salon in the area, blah, 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 getting their names, doing that, giving them prizes, stuff like that has always
Hmm.
worked. So I took my daughter there, and she ended up going to school, and then going to the fair with us every single night and working, and then coming home and, doing all that for a week straight. She opened up so much because she asked me if she can bring her bugs to our hair, or to our hair thing. And I was like, the first year I told her no. I'm like, no, we're just opening up in this new location. Second year, I'm like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. More people came to look at these little bugs than they did our hair tinsel. So it's like, it's actually pretty okay. It's bringing them over. The kids are looking at the bugs, and then I get to talk to the clients. And it's like,
Yeah.
so my daughter absolutely loves it now because she wants to go to the Chicago Hair Show with us. She's
Oh yeah.
work, and she puts in tinsel like no one else's business. She's fast, and it gets her talking when someone comes over and says, "Oh, what do you have in the container?" So it's opened her up. So
That is
really,
amazing.
my son could care less because if I'm sidetracked a little bit, he gets more game time, and his life is great that mommy will computer. So
Okay.
yeah,
That is great. That is so great. I love all of those things because, yeah, like when you get at least for me, that's how I got into the industry, right? My mother was like, come on, I need you to sweep. Go ahead and sweep. And then, it was like one of those things and it progresses and you end up working the apprenticeship program. And before you know it, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah. All right. So we're coming to the close, but for people who want to work with you, get in contact with you, how do they do that?
okay, so there's a couple different ways that can happen. If you are a trainer or coach in the industry, or a professional product company, or someone that does hair shows, that is one client of ours. That you can go on to salontraining.com, and you can go in and register and add your listing. We contact you.
Yeah.
Texting me is always the best. Anybody that knows me knows I hate emails with every part of me. They get lost, they get buried, they go to spam. Like, I don't even know why we're still using emails to contact people for minor things. That's just my opinion. Text me or Facebook me, and I will always see it. So 814-248-8928. Our information is also on salontraining.com that you can message me.
That's perfect.
For the other part of it, for stylist, you can go on, doesn't cost you anything to look at the website. You can go under education, find the shows that are you can find all the hair shows that are going on. We're getting more and more for 2006 putting on there. We have Premiere on there. We have Las Vegas. We have the ABS show, like all these different ones. Tennessee, which is going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes,
That one.
Tennessee.
Yes, that one is in May, right?
That one is in May, I think.
Yes.
Yes, they just announced the dates. Yep.
I'm taking my daughter to that one. So if anybody want to see is a cockroach, maybe. I don't know. Like, we'll see. Maybe I shouldn't say that because maybe we're not allowed to bring it in. I don't know. But she's very good. She doesn't want them to escape, I promise.
Funny.
But yes, they can go there. They can also look for jobs, post a job, that kind of stuff. And also we're doing like hair toppers now. Like
Yeah, that's so cool.
such good income and amazing to help people in the industry. We have trainers in our network that also teach things that we don't do. Like we have Shanna Mall and all these different people that are doing hair loss toppers. That are the glued in ones and all that kind of stuff. We actually have the more simple ones that the clients can actually just clip in and wear daily and then take it off and stuff. So that's another portion. But when you go to salon training, you will not see those. You actually have to create a different account, and you'll see it. that's on there. Because we don't want clients to necessarily see all the salon pricing. We want to make sure that who's ever buying this is actually a salon owner or stylist and stuff like that.
Right. Absolutely.
And then lastly, if you're okay, if you have an extra, is the membership. So the membership is really cool. So the membership is only $79 for the entire year. Like, I don't think we can get it any lower. $7.99 a month. You can have a educational class taught by a trainer. And I know you're going to be one of our trainers.
Yes, I am.
What did we say? March, I think?
April.
Okay. So you'll be teaching a class in April on why podcasting is important to your salon and stuff like that.
That's right.
And you get that class, and then if you're a member, you get all the recordings. So if you can't come, you have the whole library. We have people like Gino Stampor on there. I know we mentioned Lauren a million times. I'm giving her a lot of shout outs today. We have the topper, Tina we have all kinds, Missy from Malibu. We have all these different people that are on there. Nick Aroja is actually going to be teaching this year.
Yay!
So some really big heavy hitters that you get for $79 for every one of those trainers. So it's like unbeat.
It's very cool. It is very cool. You guys listening and watching, you need to get on that. And before we go, I think we covered a lot of stuff, right?
Yes.
Totally. What was a question that I didn't ask you that you wish I would have, and how would you have answered?
That's a good one. I think you asked some really great questions. For anybody that is looking to do something out of the ordinary, like you go into work, you do your clients, you go home, and you want more. We hear a lot of people saying that right now. What is my exit strategy? What if I don't want to do clients anymore because I just physically can't? I'm seeing a lot of people in this this portion now. What do you do outside of this industry to stay in the industry? And my answer to that would be there's a lot. If you can't stand behind the chair every single day, you can become a trainer and a coach with a product company. There's a lot of independent trainers, but I think going with a product company first is always amazing. They have good training. You love the product that you're, going to be working with anyway. I think that's one area. The other one is you can be writing, you can be writing books and journals and all kinds of different things for the industry, especially if you've been doing it so long. And then also reach out to different trainers that teach about exit strategies. What do I do next? How much should I have set aside so that I can do this? So I think that would be the question is, what's next?
I love that. That is so good. Oh my goodness, Tracey. Thank you for coming. You just unloaded so much value. I know everybody listening and watching is eating it up. Thanks for coming on the BeautyPro podcast.
Well, thank you so much. I am excited to learn about podcasting myself. So I cannot wait to take your class. So maybe that's why I'm secretly doing all this, because I get all this education. That's what someone said, you probably take a lot. I'm like, I do. I'm an education addict. I have an addiction. And it's because if you learn something, and when you learn something, you have to apply it. I don't know if you've heard the thing with Jim Carrey. He said, that one time he's like, I wanted to have $1 million or something like this. So I put it in my pocket, wrote the check. Oh, sorry. So I ended up doing it. He's like, no, I didn't just go eat a sandwich. I actually worked for it. So education, you have to apply it, which is, I think, the step that some people forget.
It's the application. Totally. Yes. Oh my goodness, you guys, if you're listening or watching, check out the show notes. We're going to have all the links. We're going to have the links to even my class for you to guys sign up in April. But go to Salon Training, contact Tracey on Facebook. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
If you loved this episode, subscribe to the BeautyPro podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave your reviews, stars, feedback so I can continue to bring the content you deserve and want most. Your feedback fuels this podcast. The more you give, the more you get back. You can follow me at The BeautyPro Coach on Instagram and Facebook. Want to contact me directly? email me at befree@goldentruthcoaching.com.